Peace and love. I am going to do a quick stream, probably 20 minutes. I think that's would be considered a quick stream for me these days. What I'm doing is I'm going to just close some tabs real quick. And what I'm doing is I'm going to follow up on a YouTube video that Empress Kali put out this morning. Or it may have been last night, but where I am going to do a little genealogy to see if I can catch up with who the descendants of a specific, I believe, indigenous American family is. It could be Native American. But first, I have to, I need to close a couple of tabs. And I think that can be beneficial. So if anybody is here with me, peace and love to you. I'm just closing a few tabs, which should just take me a couple more minutes. And I'm going to start a little quick search for okay, I'm just making myself some hints to what I am doing here. Yeah. This is a project that I'm working on that is extremely, it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And so this way I could close tabs. I'm not going to close all of them, but this way I could close tabs and get, so that when I do my search, I don't have so many tabs open, because that could be kind of So these are just so that I can get back to this stuff easier. Okay, I'll leave that one open. I cannot get in my I can't get on. I don't want to you know what? I can't get on my phone to see if someone is joining me in this chat right quick. Let's see. I don't want to. Okay, just in case somebody, some person, someone, some relative comes in. Okay, did I copy and paste this? Okay, now I can close this one. Is it her? I think it is. Peace and love if anyone is joining me. I'm just fast at work. I have a um, just closing some tabs. I'm gonna close one more. Okay. Okay. That is probably. I'll just do one more. Okay, I don't need that. And what is this? Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to do some genealogy on. Oh, well, first of all, let me do it this way. Let me take a snapshot of the oh, I didn't like it. You got to really remember to like videos when you first get in them. Oh, I'm on my own. This is crazy. Okay, so I'm in my own history. I forgot about that. So let's see. I gotta go back to history, and I gotta go to Empress Kali's video. This is where I'm starting my search. Empress Kali did a video upload where she is actually naming a specific family here, and I am going to see if I can find some. Okay, so here's the family that I'm going to be looking for, and I may have done some research on them already. For some reason, I feel like I did. Okay, so this is my snapshot, and so I am going to go. Okay, so these may be Native Americans, but I'm going to see if we can figure something out about this. The deeds grantors were 10 of Nana Pashmet's. I think I have done a little genealogy. And Squaw Satcham's heirs, including an elderly daughter, Yawata, and grandson, James Rumney Marsh, known as James Quanapawit, Quanapawit, son of Sagamore John Winohaquaham. I'm thinking it's very possible. So I'm just going to, I thought I was going to make this a little smaller. But what I'm doing now is I'm going to go and make a search for those people to see if I can find living, um, what might be living ancestors. See what it says about them if they were in any census. Let's see. All right, so I'm going into search history. Search part, just a regular all collections search. And I'm going to enter the name of Sagamore John. Or as a matter of fact, I'm going to put in Wano Hakwem. See if that might work. Wano Hack. What happens is if anyone is saving under this name, and I'm just going to do a general search for this specific name. And if anyone is saving this specific name, and they are, as you can see here, birth 1600, death 1633, just lived. So this is a public member's story. So let's take a look at that. See if this is the same people. It says from Lewis History of Lynn. This is what someone wrote. As that's the title of this document that they either wrote or copied. Letter from Dudley in Massachusetts Bay Colony of Countess. Letter from Dudley in Massachusetts Bay, Mass Bay Colony, to Countess of Lincoln back in England. This was originally shared by this member, this ancestry member, in May 2013. And it says here, Mr. Dudley, in his letter to the Countess of Lincoln, says, upon, upon the river of Mystic is seated Sagamore John, and upon the river of Sagas, Sagamore James, both so named from the English. The elder brother, John, is a handsome young one line wanting. Okay, one line wanting is probably meaning unreadable to this person transcribing. Um, okay, one line unwanting, conversant with us, affecting English, apparel, and houses, and speaking well of our guide. Okay, so this was supposed to be written in 1630, according about 1630. Okay, and this is saved by the following three. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into her tree by selecting Wanohakam from here to see if I can get a better um, set of sources immediately from, uh, and when I say sources, I'm speaking of this area. So if you have selected life story, you won't have sources as an option here. So let's just see what she has written for his life story. When Wanohakam was born in 1600 in Lynn, Massachusetts, his father, Nanapashmet, was 25 and his mother, Squaw, was 25. He had two sons and one daughter with Joan between 1620 and 1630. He died as a young father in December 1633 in Chelsea, Massachusetts, at the age of 33. Okay. So when you see life story, you don't see sources. When you see gallery, it would hold pictures or like a story, which was what I read initially. But when you select facts, you will see sources. And sources could be other ancestor family trees, meaning that other people are saving the person, and you can actually see those records. Usually, if it's not highlighted, if there's nothing highlightable when you select this view, then that means it's been a long time, I think, and those people's trees are either not available anymore. So generally you can view sources. So this is what I mean if there's nothing like a web address to be selectable. So this is a documentary history of Chelsea, um, Mass Historical Society. Okay, so this is actually a book, 1624 through 1824, including the Boston precincts of Winnissmet, Bumney Marsh, and Pullen Point. Collected and arranged with notes by Mellon Chamberlain in 2 volumes. Okay, so this is interesting. It's a source that they've added, a PDF source. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure what just happened, but I don't see how many pages this is. Or okay, it's 7. If you see here below, 7. That's page 7 of 829 pages. So you can actually read that PDF file. Okay, I'm going to just go back. I have to do a back key. And now I'm going to see if I can locate some family. Okay. So this person, Ferret Girl, might be a descendant, but I won't go by people saving. What I will do is eventually I will go by people saving. But what I'm looking for is the first source that is actually, it's a deed of sale. Joan is his wife. So there is nothing selectable here. So I cannot open this up, but I can at least just kind of see book the book title and be able to research it a little more. And the notes that are taken here, are good enough notes to be able to pick up and start a outline for what to search. Okay, so we know that based on this particular person's saving of this family, we can view in tree and see if we have any more descendants. I have only about 5 minutes left. So here, when you view in tree, you can see a further generation or two, and which might take us into records. Now, this cannot be assumed. Yes, I did do a story or a upload about Wenepokin. I'm gonna drop that link into the description. So I did do some work on this family before. In that upload, I am talking what I could find this about Wenepokin in particular. I don't know right now if I traced him down to a living relative in that specific upload, but since I did talk about him before, I am going to go with his family. So I'm going to choose a son, and what I'm going to do is um, try to get further down into a place where I can see more sources or do another search. Okay, so this is he and his spouse Abigail, and so the first thing that I can do to further my search is do a further search right from this tree. I have a birth date, okay, and so that resulted didn't bring any results. So let me go back to siblings and see if we can find anything further on his brother Sam. I'm doing a search right from this tree, and I'm not getting anything under that name. So I'm going to go back out into the tree spread, and I'm going to go from George. Okay, so I have this is a general search, and I have a another tree here. And the way well, I think I have another tree. I have to actually select it to see if it's another tree. I have a public member photo and public member story. That probably is the story that I have already. But let's just open up this specific tree and see if it's a different person. So this tree is a Christopher Cosby. Interesting looking fellow. And he just recently joined. I believe that based on he recently joined, and um, this is the way I go about my searches. He's been a ancestry member almost 2 years to the exact, in about a week or two. 2 years only, and he's been doing a lot of work, and you can see that from the fact that he has 23,000 people saved, plus people saved and with records in his Timothy tree, and he has some other trees that are available. You can tell that these trees are available to view because there is a green family tree symbol, and then this one is locked. The O'Neill family tree is locked, and it's probably his family, but we wouldn't know that right now. So, okay, so I'm going to go back. So it looks like he's been doing some pretty good work here. I'm going to do a view in tree. And all I'm trying to do is get a record, see if they were ever enumerated. I'm going with George Wenepokin's family again. As you can see here, if there are no attaching bodies or small, like this specific place right here, where you have attaching, that should be like mother and father, or it could mean another husband. Um, if there are no, yeah, it's time for me to get ready. Um, if there are no attachments here, then there's nothing that's going to fall beneath. This just means other attachments, basically. It could be parents, it could be further down descendants. So I am looking for further down descendants. I noticed that this specific person, was looking at Wiser. That was part of what he said he was researching, and this may be his specific lineage if he is related. And I clicked on those small tree addition to see what falls below. And what happens is, I get, uh, let's remember, this in specific right here is the person that I started my search looking at. This is his descendants. This is his first line, meaning his children, his grandchildren. Second line, that's the way I refer to it. And this is a third line. And now we're probably getting into records now. So Rumnin Marsh or Rumney Marsh became a last name, it appears. And not sure why some of them are last name Rumney Marsh and some of them are last name Wiser. These should be the same brothers and sisters, same parents. If you see here, this connection is saying that Joan Wiser and Sarah Rumney Marsh are the same people, unless he's using a last name that is a married name. I don't know, but we're tracing now. This is his great grandchildren. So this is children, grandchildren, great grandchildren. And if you see an arrow going down, you know that there's another generation down. So I'm clicking that arrow and I'm going a couple of more generations down. And when I get here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look at James Weiser and see if we have any records. Okay, so we have Indian marriages. Let's see. So this is James T. Hayes, and these are the household members. Okay. Uh-oh, I did something. So okay, so I do see records as in for James Weiser. So I'm going to go back up a generation and see if I see any record for his father, who was born in 1636. Meaning, are any of these sources other than, are they documents, not stories? Although stories would be equally. So I'm gonna see. It says Indiana marriages, not Indian marriages. So this is the same. document. This must be, I'm not sure. I'm going to view the record and see if they have anything. So, no, there's no image. There's a film number that I imagine you can use. But if you notice, when I click here on and select this specific source, I can get suggested records. So we know that James Weiser was who married Mary Williams. This would be Mary Williams. He was not around in 18 anything. So that could be his son. There's no year of birth on this Indiana marriages. So this could be maybe his son. Um, but these are suggested records from Ancestry, and this is the way that I began looking. So Indiana death certificate. This could be something of interest. So we're gonna open it. Yeah, okay. So spouse Mary Weiser, child Virgil. Let's just view the document. And this is the way that I start my search. So this James is not his son. It could be grandson. So the name of his father was James, and the name of his mother was Mary Williams. So, I mean, this cannot be based on the dates. Date of birth 1874. This cannot be that specific. That specific James the son, because his father was already gone according to this source. So you have to look very carefully. So I wasn't able to move fast enough to see live descendants or supposedly live descendants, because I have to check sources to be able to say for sure this is a live descendant. But um, he had already died in 1780, 1712. So that cannot be James, his son. Now, did James, his son, marry a Mary Williams? It doesn't look like it. So let's see. I'm gonna give it 3 more minutes till 4:50. Okay, let's see. The youngest child, we're gonna have to go with I'm gonna go with the marks, the ones that are marked from Christopher Cosby, who is the owner of this tree. I'm going to go with the watermarks, or I'm calling it a watermark, but that he has, because this seems to be his specific family. So I am just trying to get into a place where I know I can find sources like census reports. Okay. So this should be a descendant coming through the Weiser line. And let's just see, in 1860, what does it say? It's Utah Territory, and there is no marking. Usually it's no marking in the color box, okay, that's supposed to describe who these people are. But we know, according to this story, these people should be at least some proportion Indian. But now in 1880, you should see and they would consider him white. So let's view the image. And okay, let's see. Where's the box that determines your ethnicity or color, should I say? So this is the box that should say white, black, mulatto, Chinese, or Indian. And clearly there are W's here outside of the fact there was a dot here. And maybe, this has been reestablished, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like everybody here is considered white and not Indian. Okay, that's my quitting time. I may come back and do some more work when I'm off work today. But I'm still going to trace a little bit because these are still supposed to be descendants. I'm just wondering when I look at this, why these descendants are not showing any sources that are on the doll's roll. So we're into the 1900s with Orville Weiser. As the president said, they don't look Indian to me. Peace and love.